And we're back. I'm Paul Fabrizio, political scientist at McMurray.
And I'm Don Frazier. I'm a mere historian.
Ooh, it's about time.
But together we are going through the Constitution line by line.
Yes, from our different perspectives. And we're ready for a new section of the Constitution.
Section 6.
That's right.
Article 1, Section 6.
Article 1, Section 6. Are you ready?
Now,
By the way.
Yeah, this is a funky one.
This is a funky one. We're using this great book here, A Detailed Analysis of the Constitution by Edward F. Cook, and he really divides it into two clauses. I'm sorry, he takes one clause and divides it into two parts because they cover different things.
Yeah, so it's Part A, Part B.
Right, so we're going to do Part A now. Are you ready, Don?
Let's do it.
Okay. The senators and representatives shall receive a compensation for their services.
So they get paid.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
They get paid to be ascertained by law and paid out of the Treasury of the United States.
That seems reasonable.
That seems incredibly reasonable. They have to get paid for their job. Why do they have to get paid? Because here in the city of Abilene, where we live,
Yes.
work,
In the state of Texas.
in the state of Texas, our city council people get $1 a year.
What do state reps get?
State reps get $720 a month.
Wow.
Wait, no, I'm sorry, $600 a month. Yeah,
So they don't get paid much.
they don't get paid much. There's thinking behind that. It's the real concept of a citizen legislature, a citizen city council, people volunteering their time.
Don't get too comfortable. essence.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I mean that we want you to be volunteers, but after a while, volunteers, run out of gas.
Right, and you can move on.
Because you have to go, put bread on the table.
Right, and we're not going to pay you enough that you make this your career.
Correct. So what's going on with Congress then?
The pay for a member of Congress today is $174,000 a year.
All right, that's not bad bank.
No, not at all.
That's like university president pay at a small university.
Okay, so what is the message there? Is it you're a part-time legislature? No, not at all. Not at all.
It says go ahead and get comfortable. You're
Yeah.
going to be here a while.
Exactly.
You like this paycheck, don't you?
Yes, indeed.
And then that's not even talking about the benefits package and the pension.
You're right. They get all that given by law. Okay. Now, why do they get so much?
That's a good question.
Washington, D.C., as you know, is a
Yes.
very expensive city.
It is a very expensive city. And they have to maintain two households theoretically.
Exactly. They have to live in two different places, so there's going to be some cost associated with that.
Yeah.
So
quite a bit.
members feel that they deserve this pay.
Sure.
And for the most part, they work really hard.
They do. It's not a
There in D.C.
not an easy
and here.
job.
Not in any sense of the imagination. So it's actually really, really tough what they have to do. And the pay, the reality is, it may not adequately compensate them for all that they have to do. As we find when they quit or they get defeated and they go on to other work, they're making significantly more as lobbyists, as corporate representatives, as lawyers for big firms.
No, they're getting their expenses covered too. Travel expenses, things like that.
Within limits.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then all of a sudden you have to work through
Yes.
government per diem and things
Yes,
like that.
yes. So they get health care, they get insurance, they get the standard things you get from any other job. Plus they get travel taken care of. They get free postage. It's called the frank, that sort of stuff that all
Sure.
comes with it. So, all in all, it's not bad. What we find, though, and I don't know if this is the appropriate place to discuss it, but
If not, we'll bring it up over and over again.
But what we find is that members often leave office much wealthier.
I was going to raise that very question. Now explain the mechanics behind that.
That's a really tough question to answer. Oftentimes we don't know. Okay?
Are they given shares of companies?
Well,
Are they? I mean, is it real live gold in a box, or is it?
Okay, I mean, there's ethics rules. You're supposed to behave, that sort of stuff. But at the same time, when you're a member of Congress, you can meet all sorts of interesting people.
Yeah, yeah.
People who say, hey, here's what I'm investing in, and it's doing really well. And you could take your money and invest in that, your paycheck, and invest in that. And you could do really, really well too. And that's not illegal. That's simply getting advice from someone. What would be illegal is someone saying, hey, I'm going to give you shares in this thing. It's going to do really well, and I want you to write some legislation that's going to benefit my company.
What if you had some legislation that was going to benefit a company, and ahead of the vote, you bought shares in that company? Is that wrong?
You better believe it. It's called insider trading.
Ah, okay.
Yes, and has it captured members of Congress? You better believe it.
All right.
Yeah, there was one last year who got that.
What if they bought in after the vote?
That would be okay.
See? Okay, so it's just a question of where you are on
exactly.
that little spinny dial called the clock.
That's right. And are you going to be greedy about this? And you look at some members of Congress, and what's really cool is that each member has to fill out a financial report.
Yeah.
And it's filled out every year, so you have an idea of what they're doing. And it's not just them, it's their spouses as well. And so you have an idea of who's taking advantage of their position and who you get to meet. And others who are simply taking their pay, not investing in anything that's inappropriate, or they invest in like a 401 or something like that, something very bland and without any hint of conflict of interest.
Sure.
And so there's those who really push the envelope and those who, nah, that's not what I'm here for. And at the same time, they all fall back on the cushion of making $174,000 a year.
And they probably had enough money to run for Congress to begin with. So they probably have a grub stake somewhere.
Yeah, and this is one of the things that people often, I think, have problems with, is that you hear that, well, those members of Congress are all wealthy. They started out wealthy. But the reality is, who would we elect to Congress? Would we elect someone who's down on their luck? Would we elect someone who's
that
unemployed?
Guy sleeping in the cardboard box, he'd make a good congressman.
Yeah, we don't say that. Do we elect someone who's unemployed? No. Yeah. We typically elect people who are successful in their other line of work.
Correct.
And therefore they go off and they do congressional work. And we expect, I guess, that same kind of success.
Well, but they also have to have resources even to run.
If you can raise the money, you don't need the personal resources.
Correct.
Okay? And you think about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez as an example.
Okay.
She was a bartender.
Correct.
Not making much money before she got elected. So she took advantage of that, and that was part of her persona. I'm just a working stiff, just like you, the voters.
Oh, that's an old refrain in American politics.
It's a beautiful refrain because I'm just like one of you.
It's a David Crockett thing again.
There you go. And then all of a sudden she's making a really nice salary as an elected member of Congress. 6 months before that, she was, a bartender.
Making $20 an hour tops.
Yeah, with tips.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really...
But somebody else financed that campaign as a result.
Yeah, but your job is to go and raise the money.
Yeah.
So you step out and you quickly realize, oh, my God, there's 770,000 people I've got to reach. Yeah. I'm going to need a lot of money. It's not going to be my money. And, in fact, smart politicians never use their own money.
Okay.
They go and they get it. They go and they ask for it. They say, please help my campaign. Some people say, it's better to give than receive.
Yeah.
If you're a politician, it's better to receive than to give. Okay?
All right.
I mean, if you want to achieve something, you need cash.
You got to have something.
You need resources. So please help me out. I'm running for office, is what they say. Okay? Anyway, there you go.
That's the line, at least that's first part of that clause.
They get paid.
They get paid, and who sets their salary?
They do.
Ah, handy.
Wait, your job, you can't set your own pay?
No.
I can't either.
I can't. So essentially, they set their own pay.
Yeah.
Because it says whatever by law, correct, in that clause?
Yes.
So they just pass a law that says, hey, we get paid this amount.
Right. Yes.
That's pretty sweet.
And the other thing is that there has been issues in the past with cost of living adjustments.
Sure.
And this will all come up again when we take the 27th Amendment to the Constitution, which is the very last part of the Constitution, the last
teaser.
amendment. And because that's about congressional pay too. It's a big deal how much these people get paid and the fact that they can set their own salary. The president can't set his own salary. The Supreme Court can't set their own salary. Congress sets their own salary.
All right. So that's our line today, or for this session, and then we'll pick up part B of this clause in the next episode. Thanks for watching.